Let me set the scene. You were into video games. You fear talking to girls, yet you also want them to show interest in you. You were madly attracted to them, yet you don't know how to go about expressing this to those girls. And then you were too shy to go out to parties or to hang out with new people. So what do? You spend most of your time in the room, and then you discover porn at a young age, or maybe porn found you. This is due to a mixture of your own curiosity as well as the unfortunate fact that such explicit material is so easily accessible now. It only requires that one has a smartphone and an internet connection to access the portal to hell. As such, for the remainder of your childhood, porn was your girlfriend. It provided you the much needed outlet for a teenager with raging hormones to spend his time. You no longer felt the need to go out to socialize with your friends, let alone chatting up the girls in your classes after school and experience what our elders today refer to as puppy love. The first glimpse of what romantic relationships could be like for a young person. Hi everyone, my name is Koi, and I am a recovering porn and sex addict. I've been battling with my addiction since I was 13, and I've had several casual relationships over the years and have even gone on a few dates, if you could call them that, when I turned 20. But they have never turned into anything serious or intimate. If you have been following me for a while, you will realize that I talk a lot about my issues with sex and intimacy in my videos, and this is partly due to my lack of experience, as well as it is a topic that I am thoroughly interested in. I don't think many will say this publicly, but my lack of intimacy was one of the reasons I believe had contributed to my mental breakdown and suicide attempts when I was 20. You could call me the I word, although I am in denial now, and so I am on this quest of self-discovery to really make sense of why a lack of intimacy has such a profound impact on my soul, and hopefully I can help others on the way as well. So recently I left Tasmania, where I live now, to go back to Perth, Western Australia for a 1-week holiday. Originally I was going to see a Guns N' Roses concert with my friend from Tasmania, but I was being too indecisive and I missed out on getting a ticket on time. They sold out, so I didn't see them, but it's okay. Axl Rose is getting old and fat and he can't sing anymore. Now don't get me wrong, I am still a very big fan. Just that Guns N' Roses are way past their prime and I feel like I missed out by being born in the wrong generation. Oh, you know, I'm so quirky just like that. Now, I spent most of my teenage years in Perth and a lot of my friends are still living there. So I decided why not just to go see them instead. I haven't seen my friends from high school for over 4 years, so this would be a good opportunity to catch up with them and go a little crazy. My alcohol consumption was definitely over the quota for a whole year. Now, I am a very weak drinker and my body metabolizes alcohol super quickly, so I have that signature Asian glow. I got fucked up. I learned that I actually had a limit, and based on the amount of videos my friend had recorded of me, I was not my usual shy self. Now, in the midst of all the partying scene, I decided to visit a strip club for the first time in my life with my friend. So we were in this strip club, yeah, and I was slightly intoxicated. Now, I've never seen so many semi-nude women in my whole life jam-packed into one room. So I got nervous and I went to the bathroom quickly to chuck a piss. And when I returned, I saw my buddy was already chatting to a girl. He knew what he was doing and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I sat there and then suddenly this young woman approached me and asked me if she can sit on my legs. I said, yeah. Already I felt like I am the man. This chick is asking to sit on me. No girl has ever shown that kind of attention to me in that way in my whole life. So this undoubtedly got me very excited. But little did I realize a strip club is where men go to feel good. The girls are there to get paid. They don't really like you. I think I already know this subconsciously, but yet I still chose to engage in this. I paid for this experience, by the way. As it was my first time there at the strip club, I really didn't know what the fuck this woman wanted. So I started talking, and we started talking about deep shit. I started asking her about her career and ambitions, while this young woman was sitting on my lap and making very small adjustments in the tiny two-piece bodysuit that she was wearing. I think she knows this. She knows that I could clearly see her body. She told me she was a uni student and she needed to pay off her HEX debt. That's why she was doing this. Her dad was a drug dealer apparently, and her mom was also a stripper, as she told me. And then out of nowhere, we started talking about our childhood traumas. She actually showed me her scars, and she recognizes that I also had some on my arms, my self-harm scars. And at that point, I realized we were both fucked up, damaged people. And randomly, we started talking about my suicide attempts. Now, she was clearly showing interest and maybe even empathy. But then she was also constantly harassing me to go downstairs for a private lap dance. And I didn't know what the fuck that was. I really thought we got a thing going on based on how intimate and vulnerable we have both became in our conversation. I thought she was interested in me and picked me out of all these other guys. How dumb was I? That girl wanted me to pay up. I was a client after all. I was a fish with a hooked in mouth. I was an easy target, let's put it that way. And that's what I did. I lose about $300 that night to 2 different girls. Now what's interesting is that in the midst of that hedonistic rampage, I remembered asking the girls about their future, if they have a man or what is their purpose in life. My buddy can actually attest to this, and he thought it was weird. He said to me, "Man, you're supposed to have a good time there and not talk about this shit. You meant to just relax and let the girls do the job." Guys, I have bad news. I failed, no, not November, yesterday. It was so close. Maybe you've seen the post already. I think porn isn't the issue here. I've gone nearly a month without nutting, even while visiting a strip club. By the way, I have to say that I will probably never visit a strip club again. It's like going into a restaurant and then leaving with your stomach still empty. My buddy told me that I could go to a massage parlor or visit a prostitute with the same price tag and have my craving dealt with. Just like that. I realized I just lost $300 to interview 2 college students with HEX debt while being intoxicated and while having a raging boner and blue balls and can't do anything about it. And I felt quite uncomfortable too. I kept thinking the whole time if I were their boyfriend, which one girl did mention that she was in an open relationship with, I would feel very insecure with the knowledge that my girl is out there grinding on other dudes and showing off her body in the most promiscuous way possible. I would feel very insecure. Okay, so recently I listened to a podcast by Dr. Andrew Huberman while I was on a plane. Now, Andrew Huberman is a leading neuroscientist in his field, and it was on the science of happiness and how one can maximize this based on the amount of empirical evidence available. By the way, this is episode 98 on the Huberman Lab podcast on Spotify for those who's interested. It was found in a study that people's happiness decreases when they know that they have too many ongoing options. Subjects in this particular study were asked to rate a number of different paintings based on what they liked most to what they liked least, and then they can come home with the painting that they liked most. Then the researchers varied the degree to which different subjects can change their choices, such as by allowing some subjects to take their favorite painting home and still have the other paintings at the lab, in which they can come back to and swap them out if they change their mind. In another sample, the subjects were made to make a more final decision. So that means they have to make a decision then and there at the lab which painting was going to go home with them and which was going to maybe a publisher, which meant that they will never see that painting again, even if they change their mind and they think, oh, maybe that painting is better. And interestingly, based on this study, it was consistently found out that when people have ongoing options, this actually leads to a lower level of happiness. Now, Huberman explained this study by saying that when people make a choice and they stick to it, this leads to a higher level of happiness. So what does this actually mean for me? Well, for one, the idea of having endless options in which girl I can pick from at the strip club or at the massage parlor or at the brothel, this certainly sounds very enticing to me. Not really to my wallet though. After all, I am a single guy with no sexual experience. This is my chance to finally score. But I also know for a fact that as soon as I pop the cherry, I will still crave sex, and kuming in particular. It is an insatiable hunger, and I won't be any happier than today if I do manage to get it on with a girl. In fact, as evidenced by my recent experience at the strip club, I felt extremely shameful, pity for the girls, hollow, and I felt used. One may argue that they are not real relationships and I need to get a girlfriend to experience this. I could go on Tinder now and try to get in with a girl and I would still feel the same. It is just as inorganic and transactional as paying a woman for the experience. I know in my mind that there would be another one there on Tinder and I do not need to become exclusive with the one I managed to get. In my mind, I would always have another option to go to, so I do not need to commit to one. Unsatisfied with my strip club experience, I went down the rabbit hole of hiring a working lady to satisfy my need. While doing research on a working lady's profile on this website, she seemed genuine enough and was good looking based on the photos provided. I stumbled across a website called Punter's Planet. Now in Australia, punting means betting. When someone says punting, they usually mean that they are betting on a team in cricket or a horse in a race. It's basically gambling. Now, this website, Punter's Planet, provides information on different prostitutes who are working in Australia from other users who apparently have seen these ladies or are frequent visitors to brothels. I won't go into details, but from what I've read, the keywords that seems to always pop up in these discussion are punting, scoring, winning, as if they are hunting and the women are wild games about to be caught. It was revolting. These men talked about how they took a gamble at seeing these girls and had enjoyed the lay, so they're now giving them a review so that other men can visit these women and enjoy the same experience. This whole experience just made me realize men who visit prostitutes aren't dealing with just a sex addiction. They are also dealing with a gambling addiction. The anticipation that the next lady you will see is going to give you an out of this world experience is what kept them hooked on this game. They'll keep punting as long as they can if they don't realize this. Look, I have already felt No Nut November and I felt miserable, I'm not gonna lie. And this is exactly what having too much options is about. I think as guys, our ultimate goal is to find a woman who understands you and wants to be with you. You can call this marriage or being in a committed relationship. Right now, I know that I can just whack off to porn and that's sex out of the way. That's cooming out of the way. I can watch whomever I want to on the net. Whomever I took a fancy to that day. I can go to the strip club or visit a working lady and spend my money. That's basically masturbating with another person. I have too many options. It is too easy to get sex. Or maybe I can play live in hard mode and engage in the hookup culture and try pick-up artistry, pretending to be with a girl and then switch it up when I'm bored. It's still the same thing. You are still spinning the plates as the PUA gurus have taught you. I think it's time we as men need to limit our options. Don't see too many girls. This is not because we're scared of girls or anything like that, but maybe for some of you out there, this will actually bring you greater fulfillment in life. To actually have the time to focus on what really matters to you. They say a man without purpose distracts himself with pleasure, and that's exactly what I was doing. I think what I need to do now is focus on my mission and stop messing around with these pointless ventures which will make me regret in the long term. I need to be on this path because I do not want my future wife to be with a weak man. And for this, I am back here again, walking with you all and sharing this with my audience. This is my way of keeping myself accountable by having an audience watching. For those of you who are watching, thank you. I wish you are safe, you are loved, and you are on your mission. Stay strong, and God bless.